Okay, so let's jump right into this deep dive.
Yes, sounds good.
We've been looking through a whole pile of reports, reviews, all focused on one thing, the 2025 Ford Bronco.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal here, really, is to sift through all that and pull out what these sources are actually saying. What are the real pluses and where does it maybe fall a bit short?
Right. And the sources seem pretty consistent, actually. They paint this picture of like an amazing adventure vehicle.
Built for the trails.
Exactly. But, and this is the key bit, that focus means there are, well, trade-offs for just, daily driving.
Yeah, that split personality, as you put it before we started.
Yeah.
So, okay, digging into these sources, what are the big wins they keep highlighting for the off-road side of things?
Well, it really starts with the basics. Standard 4x4 on every model. The sources all agree that's, like, fundamental, non-negotiable for serious stuff.
Okay, makes sense.
And then there's the tech that supports it. They talk a lot about the GOAT modes.
That goes over to any type of terrain thing.
That's the one. It electronically adjusts the vehicle for, mud, sand, rocks, whatever you're facing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the HOSS suspension.
HOSS. Right, high-performance off-road stability suspension. How does that help, according to them?
So the sources point to specific parts, like special shocks and control arms. They're designed to soak up big impacts, keep things stable when the ground gets really rough. Makes a big difference off-road, apparently.
And I'm guessing you need some decent power to push through that terrain. What do the reports say about engines?
Oh, yeah. They note a few turbocharged options. Good ones. Starts with a solid 2.3-liter EcoBoost.
Uh-huh.
Then there's a stronger 2.7-liter V6. And for the real top end, the Raptor gets a 3.0-liter V6. Multiple sources put that over 400 horsepower.
Wow, okay. So plenty of grunt available.
Definitely. Unless you kind of match the power to how intense you plan to get.
What about the inside? I saw mentions that it's like built tough, knowing it'll get muddy.
Yes, exactly. They highlight things like the optional marine-grade vinyl flooring, waterproof,
And drain plugs.
and drain plugs. Yes, several sources mention that specifically, like hose it out, clear sign of its purpose.
Right.
But you can still get cloth or leather if you want. And heated seats. Practicality seems key too, the four-door especially. Lots of cargo space. They quote numbers like 77 cubic feet folded down.
Plenty for gear then.
Oh, sure.
It's good they didn't completely ignore the tech side, though, even with all that rugged focus.
No, not at all. The sources consistently praise the standard SYNC4 system. Big 12-inch screen. Hard to miss.
Yeah, that's pretty standard now, but good to have.
And a digital cluster, smartphone integration, the usual stuff. Plus a good set of safety features, automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring. Important everywhere.
Okay, so stellar off-road credentials. We get that picture loud and clear from the sources. But you mentioned trade-offs. Where do they say the compromises show up?
But this is the other side of the coin. Interior materials come up quite a bit.
Oh.
Well, while it's durable, the sources note there's a lot of hard plastic. It can feel a bit less, say, premium compared to SUVs, maybe more focused on passenger comfort.
Okay, durability over luxury feel. And noise. That seemed like a recurring theme, too.
Definitely. Road noise, wind noise.
Yeah.
Frequently mentioned as being higher than you might expect. Especially, they say, if you take the doors or roof panels off, which is kind of the point of the Bronco for me.
It makes it louder. Got it. What about fuel?
Another potential downside. The sources point out that, especially with the bigger V6 or if you add heavier off-road tires and stuff, the fuel economy isn't great. It's a heavy, boxy vehicle.
Physics, right?
Yeah, makes sense. And the actual ride on smooth roads.
Ah, yeah. The body on frame built like a traditional truck, and that HOSS suspension tuned for bumps. Well, the sources say it can feel stiff, maybe a bit jarring on normal pavement. It's just not aiming for that super smooth car-like ride.
Understandable given the focus. Any specific features they felt were missing or basic? A few minor things came up in some reports, like maybe limited power seat adjustments on some trims, or perhaps fewer high-end luxury options compared to, less specialized SUVs. Little convenience things.
Okay, so wrapping this up based on the sources,
Yep.
It seems really clear. Huge strengths off-road. Standard 4x4, smart GOAT modes, that capable HOSS setup, strong engines, tough interior, good storage.
Absolutely. Purpose-built.
But the flip side they discuss is just as clear. Those harder plastics inside, more cabin noise, thirstier engines, a firmer on-road ride, and maybe a few missing creature comforts depending on the trim.
And what's interesting is how the sources frame it. Not really as flaws, but more like consequences. direct result of making it so good off-road.
Exactly. They paint it as a vehicle that knows what it is, it excels at its main job.
So considering that balanced view from the reports of this amazing trailability versus those noted compromises in daily driving, the question for you, the listener, is really how does that balance feel? Is that the right set of trade-offs for what you need and how you'd actually use it? Something to mull over?